All right, I'm Leah Henk, and I serve as president for Freedom from USA. Our work focuses to end child sex trafficking in India through rescue, restoration, and justice. And this, I haven't been able to be with you guys for a few months now, I feel like, but um, man, these months keep flying by. But in January, I really hadn't heard much from the India team. And, we were underwater cleaning up from our end of year campaign and just celebrating all the folks who had partnered with us. Um, and, I kind of assumed India was doing the same. I knew they were having some leadership training, retreats, and just kind of planning for the new year. And then I got their January reports, and I had never seen so many reports in a single month. They were all over following up on girls, following up, doing home investigation reports, and doing a lot of investigations into finding new girls. So I was excited with how much they were accomplishing that month. But then they also reached out to us in February and said, we feel like we have hit a drought in rescues. We feel like we've hit just a wall and resistance in every area that we work. We're identifying girls who need rescue, but we're not able to bring it to that point of rescue. And so they asked us specifically if we would partner with them in prayer, press forward. We shared that with a lot of you all who are prayer partners, specific prayer needs. And they had a goal of over the next 6 weeks, by the end of March, we want to see a breakthrough in every single region, a rescue in every single region where we work. And so we did partner with them, praying for them, lifting them up. And as God always does, he did answer. And we saw breakthroughs and rescues in every single region where we work. And a total of 10 girls were rescued. Now, some of those, if you follow the prayer needs, you'll see that some of them are rescues and there are still challenges. Rescues, but the girls were booked as instead of as a victim, they were booked as a criminal. And we're like, well, that doesn't help. That's not what we're after. That's a violation of their human rights. And so, pursuing that further, we have ones who one who was rescued and then, very conflicted because her mother was involved in her trafficking, and so sort of fighting against that. So, but we did see breakthrough in every single region, and we saw God answer. And so as I always say, um, here in the U.S., we are far physically. It's sometimes we feel like, what can I actually do? But really and truly, we are partnered with the team there in prayer. This is always not only a physical battle, it is a spiritual battle, and we're up against the strongholds that have been there for hundreds, if not millennia, hundreds of years, if not millennia. But, join us in prayer. Help us to continue to press forward. To see breakthrough and to see change and to see justice prevail and government leaders' hearts be changed and the women's hearts able to be touched and changed. I noticed one other thing, just talking about hearts and the importance of the girls. We believe that the girl is herself the key to ending child sex trafficking through her testimony, through being able to speak up and say something wrong happened, that this should not be. It's through her testimony that a conviction can happen, and that just creates the shock waves that create the change in the government systems, in raising that risk factor for other perpetrators. So we had um, one not conviction, but we had one acquittal that came through in this past month. And so I was kind of asking into that, what happened. It was also a girl who had been twice rescued. And so there were two separate cases. And the interesting point that I saw in that one was that in one of the cases, she was unwilling to testify. She was unwilling to identify her perpetrator. Um, whether it was that the person was from the same community and background, whether she was afraid, whether our social workers had not yet been able to help her to reach the point of realizing that this was wrong. Whatever that was, her testimony was not strong. She was not able to do that. And of course, then, because the conviction really does hang on the girl's ability to state that this is wrong and this is who did it, that ended in acquittal. However, in the second case, um, that had moved even quicker. That had already come to an end. And she had, in that case, reached the point of being able to testify, being able to say, this is what happened to me. This is what was wrong. And that one did end in conviction. And so I thought it was interesting, those two cases juxtaposed, even with the same girl, but how critical the girl is, how critical her reaching the point of restoration, her reaching that point of being able to recognize something has happened. And I am willing to speak about it. So pray with us, continue to press forward for continued breakthroughs, for rescues to go forward, and for girls' hearts to be touched. That is what I would ask for prayer on.